Today's top stories. The country celebrates the crowning of Miss Philippines Catriona as Miss Universe 2018. Malacanang says it will look into reports between the president and the clergy during the Balangiga bells turnover. 6 persons are injured as a man takes a child hostage in Santa Mesa, Manila. And transportation officials call on motorcycle app Angkas to respect the law and cease operations.
Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Filipinos here and around the world cheered as Catriona wins the title of Miss Universe 2018. Gray wowed judges and audiences with her intelligence and her stylish show of nationalism. Rom Dulfo has the story.
Filipinos celebrated as Catriona is crowned Miss Universe 2018 in Bangkok, Thailand. Gray won the country's 4th Miss Universe crown, taking after Pia Wurtzbach, Margie Moran, and Gloria Diaz. Gray redeemed herself from her runner-up finish in the 2016 Miss World by living up to the hype of her being the heavy favorite to win it all. She takes over the crown from her predecessor, Demi Nell Peters from South Africa. Gray gracefully walked into the pageant's runway in a fiery red evening gown by Filipino designer Mark Tumang, inspired by the Mayon volcano. She also sported a national costume that paid homage to the 3 islands of the Philippines and a fire, orange, and yellow gown symbolizing the Ibong Adarna. Gray's answer in the final Q&A portion, where she was asked about the life lessons she would apply as Miss Universe, virtually clinched the title for her. In a statement, Malacanang congratulated Gray on winning the 4th Miss Universe crown for the Philippines. Presidential spokesman Salvador Panelo says Gray's victory sets the bar high in empowering more Filipino women to believe in themselves and to fight for their own place in the universe. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Rom Dulfo.
About 6 persons were reported injured in a hostage-taking incident near the Polytechnic University of the Philippines in Santa Mesa, Manila this morning. Police say the suspect took the gun of a security guard in the PNR Santa Mesa station and then took a 5-year-old child hostage. The suspect eventually surrendered after police held negotiations. The suspect, however, wounded several passers-by while the hostage child remained unharmed. Santa Mesa Police Station Commander Ruben de la Rama Ramos says the suspect committed the crime out of bitterness over his brother's death. The military says the threat by the New People's Army of a nationwide offensive has no effect on the government's localized peace talks. This as the NPA opposed the 1-year extension of martial law in Mindanao approved by Congress. AFP Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Benjamin Madrigal says they will pursue the localized peace talks and accept those who would surrender and return to the government side. He says he expects more NPA members to surrender with the launch of the National Task Force to end the insurgency. He assures that surrenderers will receive benefits under the Enhanced Comprehensive Livelihood Integration Program. The Philippine National Police vows no special treatment for the son of Bureau of Corrections Chief Nicanor Faeldon, who was arrested in a drug raid last week. PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde says Nicanor Faeldon Jr. remains under custody of the Naga City Police along with 3 others arrested with him. He says they will leave it to the courts whether to hear the case. Faeldon has been formally charged for maintaining a drug den. The younger Faeldon has tested negative for drugs. He earlier admitted that he lives in the house which was owned by the father of his girlfriend before it was discovered to be a drug den. Police announced that the first Simbang Gabi went by peacefully. Meanwhile, the suspects in the killing of a journalist in Albay formally faces charges. More on these and other news around the metro from Benj Bondo.
Police reported no crimes on the first Simbang Gabi on Sunday dawn. NCRPO Director Guillermo Elizar led the inspection of churches in Manila as the Philippine National Police heightens security under Oplan Ligtas Paskuhan 2018. PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde instructed all police regional directors to maximize police visibility around churches and be on the lookout for common crimes. Meanwhile, police filed murder charges against the suspected killers of Albay radio man Joey Liana. Communications Secretary Martin Andanal says murder charges were filed before the office of the Provincial Prosecutor of Albay against a certain Erwin Talagtag and two other still unidentified suspects. Talagtag is allegedly a member of the notorious Concepcion criminal group, which is involved in robbery holdup, extortion, and gun for hire activities. Liana's family welcomed the new development, hoping the mastermind will be unmasked soon. About 400 scholars of the Armed Forces of the Philippines received Christmas gift packs from the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation. The recipients are children of active, wounded, and deceased military personnel participating in the 3rd Pamaskong Handog ng PAGCOR. The AFP thanks PAGCOR for recognizing the gallantry of the country's soldiers. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Benj Bondo.
Still to come, Malacanang says it will look into reports between the president and the clergy during the Balangiga Bells turnover. Locals in Antique welcome the opening of flights from Antique to Clark. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Maganda namang idudulot yung medical marijuana, why not? Pero kung wala, siguro maiging limitahan na lang yung paggamit.
Para sa akin ayaw ko. Kasi drugs pa rin yan eh. Oo nga, nakakagamot daw, sabi nila. Pero nakakakuan pa rin, nakakalasing.
Nag-agree ako sa sagot ni Catriona na totoo naman talaga na dapat siyang illegalize in terms of rehabilitational or sa medical purposes. Pero tama rin siya na hindi siya dapat illegalize in terms of recreational purposes. Recreational meaning na mag-yosi ka lang na marijuana when you want to. But rather, tama yun na kailangan niyang illegalize siya in terms of paggamit sa medicine. Kasi there are people talaga in the world that need to use marijuana para makaget over sila sa mga pinagdadaanan nilang illnesses.
Kung naaayon naman sa batas na maging legal ang marijuana, bakit hindi natin gawing legal?
For my opinion naman, mahirap pa rin yun, lalo na sa mga estudyante ngayon. Nagkakaroon pa rin ng epekto yun sa mga pag-iisip nila. Yun lang po.
Malacanang says it would not let any untoward incident ruin the essence of the historic turnover of the Balangiga Bells in Eastern Samar last Saturday. The palace reacts to allegations by the Diocese of Borongan that several priests and bishops were told to leave the Balangiga Plaza before the turnover. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo says he did not see any occurrence nor hear any complaint from the Apostolic Nuncio Gabriel Giordano Cachia or any other priest. He also noted how the president warmly greeted church officials before the ceremony. Panelo says the turnover of the bells is a time that Filipinos would celebrate and cherish regardless of political affinity nor outlook. For his part, President Duterte on Saturday said he trusts that the residents of Balangiga town would take care of the bells. A multi-million peso mountain resort set to open in January next year in Bagak, Bataan has vowed to uplift the lives of about 800 individuals in nearby communities. The Rancho Bernardo Luxury Villas and Resort sits on a 15-hectare hilly land in Kakiputan, Barangay Ibis. Community Development Coordinator Isabel Lanada says the resort hopes to help its residents uplift their lives as well as protect the environment. Rancho has launched a pilot project involving the facade beautification of 25 houses in Kakiputan. The beneficiaries in turn form themselves into a cooperative. Former Bagak Mayor Ramil Del Rosario, president of mother company Golden Luck Consortium, said the Rancho is the first high-end resort in Bataan which will target Europeans as their clientele. Locals welcomed the arrival of the Antique Clark maiden flight of the Philippine Airlines at the Evelio B. Javier Airport in San Jose de Buenavista, Antique on Sunday morning. PAL Vice President Jose Enrique Perez de Tagle says Antiqueños can now fly directly not only from their home province to Clark International Airport, but more so to South Korea. The Tagle says PAL Express would also allow residents to fly conveniently to Manila and to PAL's 17 other domestic destinations via Clark. Transportation Undersecretary Manuel Antonio Tamayo meanwhile says the return of PAL to Antique is a historical milestone as the airport has returned to commercial operation. The new route of PAL flies from Clark to Antique and vice versa every Sunday and Tuesday. Ilocos Norte announces the construction of its Amianan Tourism Village. Meanwhile, a grenade blast hits a mayor's home in Sultan Kudarat. More on these stories from the provinces from Janice Cabe.
Barangay Poblacion in Burgos, Ilocos Norte has held the groundbreaking of a 27 million peso Amianan Tourism Village. Undersecretary for Barangay Affairs Martin Dino and local officials led the ceremonial release of the time capsule to signify the construction of the proposed tourism plaza. The facility will have its own commercial building, a man-made lagoon, a gazebo, a restaurant, fish pond, organic farm, and landscape amenities. Burgos Town is host to the largest wind farm in Southeast Asia. Meanwhile, police in Lambayong, Sultan Kudarat set up more checkpoints around town following the grenade attack at the home of town mayor Ramon Abalos. Two men on a motorbike lobbed a grenade at Abalos' home on Friday night. It was the second grenade attack against the official's house this year, the first being in July. In Occidental Mindoro, 70 members of the New People's Army, including 3 minors, surrendered to the 4th Infantry Battalion of the Philippine Army. Most of the surrenderers were Mangyans who were tricked into joining the communist group. They have accused the NPA of taking a portion of their harvest from lands which the rebels claim ownership. All surrenderers will receive incentives under the government's enhanced comprehensive local integration program. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Up next, transportation officials call on motorcycle app Angkas to respect the law and cease operations. 2 young Pinoy swimmers rake in gold medals in Dubai. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
For the discipline, integrity, and loyalty principles of the JCI. Thank you for being exemplary Filipinos, patriots, first and always.
This is Second Bounty Marching on another, and you're watching.
This is the ideal society that our President Rodrigo Roa Duterte has dreamed of. In the first lines in his inaugural address, as he expressed the hope that one day we shall see in our people the images of dignity. Carry on for as long as your reward can multiply your achievements. Thank you, and we hope.
In other news, transportation officials urge the management of motorcycle ride-sharing app Angkas to respect the decision of the Supreme Court. This as the High Court ordered Angkas to cease its operations due to a law forbidding private motor vehicles for transport. The ride-sharing app, however, said it will appeal to the order and continue its operations. The Department of Transportation says an amendment on the law would be needed to accommodate Angkas. The PNP Highway Patrol Group has reported over 5,000 motorcycle-related accidents, the highest among all vehicles in the first part of 2018. In sports, 2 athletes from the Philippine Swimming League were named most bemedaled swimmers in the 2018 Hamilton Aquatics Winter Long Course Championships in Dubai. Grade 12 student Mark Brian Dula scooped 8 golds in the 8 events of the boys' 11-year-old category. He also got a silver in the same category. Meanwhile, Micaela Hasmin Molje bagged 7 golds and 1 silver in the girls' 12-year-old category. The swimmers were accompanied by Jasmine's mother, Joanne, who also served as PSL Regional Director for Luzon, and Coach Alex Papa, the brother of 2-time Olympic basketball player Adriano Papa Jr. CJ Perez headlined the PBA rookie draft as he was formally named the first overall pick by Colombian Jeep on Sunday night. Perez, who led Lyceum to the NCAA men's basketball finals for the past 2 seasons, was chosen ahead of 46 other aspirants. Also, Ray Parks became the 2nd overall pick of the draft as formalized by Blackwater. Parks is currently playing in the ASEAN Basketball League for Alab Pilipinas. Robert Bolick was selected 3rd overall by Northport. Meanwhile, Magnolia is gearing up to end the PBA Governors Cup Finals altogether after leading the series against Alaska 3-2. Best Player of the Conference awardee Paul Lee hit the game-winning jumper to end the game 79-78. The Hotshots can clinch the title with a win Game 6 in December 19, Wednesday. Negros Occidental is gearing up to become a culinary destination with a 3-day food festival featuring the best of the province's cuisine. More on this from Janice Cabe.
Negros Occidental goes beyond chicken and asal and sweets for 3 days this week. Food products from various local government units will be showcased during the 3-day Kaon Natal Festival on December 19 to 21 in the soon-to-be-opened Ayala Capital Central in Bacolod City. The event aims to promote Negros Occidental as one of the country's premier food destinations. The event will be hosted by the Department of Tourism and Ayala Malls in collaboration with the Negros Occidental provincial government. On the first day, the festival will kick off with the opening of exhibit booths and food fair. Local government units will also showcase their unique and new dishes and cuisines through the food parade, a replication of the activity during the Tourism Week celebration last September. The province also invited some Negrense chefs, including Nico Millanes, Don Colmenares, Jory Aro, Patrick Go, Nino Laus, JP Anglo, Margarita Flores, and Kalel Demetrio to showcase their dishes. The second day will feature slow food movement in Negros Occidental, wherein chefs will demonstrate how to prepare their cuisines with slow food or traditional practices. The third day will highlight Negros Occidental as a farm tourism destination. Speakers will also talk on various topics focusing on the promotion of healthy, sustainable, and green practices in farms, hotels, restaurants, and other tourism establishments. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Let's take another look at today's top stories.
The country celebrates the crowning of Miss Philippines Catriona Gray as Miss Universe 2018. Malacanang says it will look into reports between the president and the clergy during the Balangiga Bells turnover. 6 persons are injured as a man takes a child hostage in Santa Mesa, Manila. And transportation officials call on motorcycle app Angkas to respect the law and cease operations.
Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. And only 8 more days to go before Christmas. And that's your daily dose of the latest news and information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I am William Theo. Good day.